the doctor's report. Now that we entered all the data into the program itself, now we have all the information we need to really give us a good idea of what's going on with the patient. Now, if we look at the blood tests themselves, these are the tests, these are the results. That's the range of the particular test. And again, I'm using ranges from the 1980s, which were more qualified to give you a better idea as to what's going on. Because again, back in the 1980s, the health and population of the United States was better than it is now. And because the way they deviated from different blood tests over the years and decades, which makes absolutely no sense, you really have to utilize these particular ranges. And we utilize a formula which is mathematically correct, and it's how we establish our physiologic reference ranges. And this is the formula right here. If you want to study it, look at it, get a good idea as to how we determine these physiologic reference ranges, be my guest. But now we get back and we look at the blood test itself, and we'll look at all the different tests that we run. Now everything in yellow with a negative sign in front of it is on the low side of the spectrum. So from the pathological reference ranges, this one's really low. For example, total protein is 6, the range between 6 to 8.5, so it's 100% out of my range. So now we look at all of these particular tests. We'll look at clusters of tests to really assess what gland or organs function and malfunction. And then as we scroll down, you'll see, again, certain tests that are out of range, and as we go down, you'll get a good bird's eye view as to what's going on. Now, underneath that is a bar graph that kind of explains to you where the majority of the tests lie. Now, if you see, there's the 0 line, and anything below that is a low functioning blood test. Anything above that is high functioning. Now, if you look at just all the general bars, you can see that everything is low. Well, I shouldn't say that everything, but the majority of things are really low, which means that this particular patient's metabolism, Ann, is extremely low. So if she's going to decide to, if this is a weight loss situation, it's going to take a long time because her metabolic rate or her metabolic engine is extremely weak. And until we get that metabolic engine boosted up, there's no way that she's going to ever lose weight. In fact, it's just going to progressively get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. But if you put the arrow right on the bar graph, it tells you which test it is. So as we scroll down more, so we have a real good shot of your metabolic rate. This is extremely important, which most people don't understand. Now underneath that, we'll look at all her different hormones that we looked at. And again, you can see that the majority of the hormones are on the low side, which means that her endocrine system or output is extremely low as well. And again, this just basically duplicates what we're talking about up here. Now, if you want to get a good shot as to, with the bar graph, which of the hormones are pretty much on the low side, you can see as I'm scanning through which ones they are. So you're going to get a really good concept as to what's going on with this patient from an endocrine standpoint as well. Now, as we come down even further, now we're looking at the CBC differential. This tells us about immune function. And again, with the COVID virus, with immune function, you can get a good idea as when you're looking at this particular patient, how much their immune system is being antagonized or attacked. And you can see at this particular patient that she's having problems with the basophils, having problems with the neutrophils, red blood cell counts are low, white blood cell counts are low, and lymphocytes are extremely low. In fact, they're out of range because they're in red. So this patient has a lot of immune stress going on. So you have a weak immune system, a weak endocrine system, and extremely low metabolic rate. So this patient's on the verge of having a lot of health problems, if not already. So as we scan down, now we're going to look at all the different tests and see from a glandular perspective what organs and glands are not functioning properly. Now when we look, anything above or below 40% is considered a problem. So if I look at this patient, Ann Ames, I'm seeing problems with the kidneys, problems with the lungs, and even some heart problems. Now, she's not a very old person to have these kinds of situations occurring. I'm looking as I scan down, she's having problems with a gallbladder, problems with a liver. And at that particular point, you're saying, well, she has a lot of issues. So you want to see what's going on with the gallbladder? Again, click on gallbladder, and you'll have a drop-down box. They'll tell you exactly what's going on. Now you can see there's not much going on with the pancreatic head, but we get down into the endocrine functions. You can see she's having problems with her pituitary, she's having problems with the uterus, she's having problems with the pineal, she's having problems with the ovaries. So she's having a lot of weakness in these areas. And we go down even further into the immune system. She's got a weakness in the adrenals, weakness with the thymus, the parotids, the adrenal cortex, the spleen, and not so much with the thyroid. So if we look at the top 12 glands or organs, now you can see that the biggest one is the adrenal medulla. You'll have problems with the hypothalamic stalk, the posterior pituitary. And again, if you look at that, she's having problems with the kidneys and she's having problems with the lungs. And the posterior pituitary secretes a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, which has a big impact on the kidneys. So you can see how a lot of these things are starting to make sense. And you can see thymus, parotid, the adrenal cortex is involved. You can see the kidneys are involved, where the adrenals sit. So this patient's having a tremendous amount of problem with her glands and organs. And if she doesn't get these things corrected, it's going to get worse and worse as time goes on. Now, we utilize a nutritional plan that has what we call a general support, which I'll explain to you in a second. The general support is a combination of Celtic sea salt, which gives you all your microminerals in the exact proportions that they're found in your blood. We do nanogreens, which will give you all your phytonutrients. It basically contains about 75 different vegetables, fruits, and herbs in it, so it's going to give you every phytonutrient that you need. You can utilize Liquid Health or another multi-mineral, basically helps support just the vitamins and minerals. And endocrine complex, which is a multi-glandular, multi-organ support for a lot of your organs and glands as well. Now what we do is we go more into a specific support too, as well, based on what glands or organs are coming up. So in this particular case, the adrenal medulla came up. So we want to add a supplement for the adrenal medulla. So we'll click on adrenal medulla and we'll wait and see what's going on. And you'll see that the adrenal medulla pops up, and we'll look, and these are some of the different supplements that we can utilize. So I'm going to use pure adrenal with this patient, and actually I'm going to do pure adrenal. The dosage is going to be 2 capsules, and they're always going to be with meals. Remember, when you're going to take organ supplementation, always with meals. And we're going to do it 2 times a day. And then we're going to add the supplement. And now you see that now the supplement is added to the plan. Now the next gland below adrenal medulla was hypothalamic hypophyseal stalk. So if you want to know anything about that, you can click on that and you'll have a drop down box, give you a whole bunch of information on that particular gland or organ. Now to add a supplement, you would click on it, and now you'll see a whole bunch of supplements come up for the hypothalamic hypophyseal stalk. Now what you want to do is you want to look at each one of these and get an idea as to what's in it, and see if you can look at supplements that have a number of different, they're called complexes, they have a number of different supplements, or glands I should say, that are in there as well. And you'll see for thyroid complex, you have a combination of thyroid, adrenal, pituitary, spleen, thymus. So look down, if you see glands or organs that also fit into this recommended supplement, you can utilize those too as well, and literally help work a number of different glands or organs by giving a combination known as complexes. So look at that very carefully, and what you want to do is you want to put down the dosage, how many capsules, or if it's tablets or drops that you recommend, or as recommended, with or without meals, the number of times a day, and you would again click on add supplement, and that supplement will be added to your plan. So see, it said supplement added to plan, and you go on down the line. Look at thymus, look at parotids, look at adrenal, whatever you feel that the patient should have, add that supplement. If you look at adrenal cortex, we used one for the adrenal medulla. Hopefully we would have taken a supplement that had both, so we don't have to utilize different kinds of supplements, keeping the number of different supplements down. So you can see ImmuStim is one, and it tells you all the different glands and organs that it has in there. So you can again use these complexes to help with a number of different glands or organs. And again, you can put down the dosage exactly the way you see fit, and you click on add supplement, and the supplement would basically be added to that particular gland. So supplement added to plan. So what you would do at that particular juncture, you would click on add supplement plan to the menu, and now you'll see a number of supplements that you had recommended. And you'll know that this is complete because it'll send you back up to the top of the page. And you just scroll down. And you see the supplements that I had recommended so far. Now, there's a way you can add your own supplements. Suppose you want to use your product line because you're familiar with it. What we showed you was in our product lines. So look and see if you have a supplement that's similar to that, and you can add those supplements themselves into this supplement section where you can just click on it and add any supplement that you want, anything you recommend for what you feel you would normally recommend for your patients. And that is as well as general support too as well. You can take one of these that I have here and discontinue it or delete it and add your own products in. So the program is based to help you with whatever supplements you feel comfortable with. I'm not recommending any supplement company specifically, but I use one of the product lines that I feel is the best. So with that being said, let's go on down. Now, once you have all the supplements that you have decided to give the patient, whether it's general support or specific support, once you have all that done, then you're finished as far as determining what glands or organs are malfunctioning. Now we're going to go into diet. Oh, by the way, if you're really interested to see how we come up with these top 12 glands or organs and how we come up with these percentages, you can basically click on Show Expanded and you'll have a whole explanation of what tests that we decided to utilize for each particular gland or organ. You'll see them across the top, and you'll see down which test we utilized and what the points were for each particular test, and based on the percentage that it was out of range times the percentage points would give us an idea of exactly where this glandular organ relates to all the other glands and organs in the body. A pretty complex procedure, but if you really want to sit down and look at it and study it, it would be really great to do. But that's how we utilize all the information so far. Now, we're going to go back down to determining what kind of a diet this patient should be on.